Alright, now let's get to the underrated.
Bashing baby! Groovy baby!
Groovy, baby.
Hey everyone, welcome to another top 10 list. Welcome to my top 10 most underrated movies of 2023. This was a lot more difficult because either movies were really good or movies were really overpraised. I didn't think there was a shit ton of underrated movies, but I managed to find a few that I thought were pretty good that just weren't talked about enough, and they're just maybe not getting award consideration, and just people were just, or maybe people were just like, brushed it off and like, wasn't that great, and I'm like, no, really was actually pretty good. So yeah, it's more like underrated slash underappreciated in a way. So, and again, it's just my opinion. Yeah, I have nothing really else to say. I planned a whole speech, but no, let's just get to it. Underrated movies of 2023. Number 10, The Equalizer 3. I thought The Equalizer 3 was pretty underrated. It kind of came and went. It came to theaters, people saw it, they enjoyed it for what it was, that's really it. And I thought it was good. I liked it. I think it almost as good as the first one. I like Denzel Washington. I think he's a really cool kick-ass action star sometimes. I love that it's like more in a small town and him dealing with the townspeople and getting to know them. I love that it focused more on characters unlike the second one, which was like heavy on the action. I thought it was a good sequel trilogy ending movie, and I don't know, I had fun with it. And it's interesting that it just kind of came and went, because I remember when the first Equalizer came out, people were talking about that for years, and that's why they made a sequel, and that's why Antoine Fuqua wanted to make it into a trilogy. But just this one, no one gave a shit about it, no one's talking about it, and they should. It's a fun action movie. It's not a masterpiece, but it's fun. Coming in number 9 is The Killer. This is one that shocks me that no one's talking about, because it's David Fincher. David Fincher is one of the great directors. Man, this motherfucker has done Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Fight Club, The Game, Seven, Social Network, Zodiac, Curious Case of Benjamin Button, which was one of his weaker ones, but it's not bad, but Gone Girl. This guy is a great filmmaker, and he made a damn good movie, man. This is a very intense, dark, brutal movie about a hitman. It's a great character study. Fassbender knocks out of the park in this role, and no one's talking about it, and no one really gives a fuck about it, and it's getting no award consideration, like for cinematography or even Fassbender's performance. No one gives a rat's ass about this movie. It just kind of came and went, and I know a lot of audiences who weren't like film buffs saw it, and they thought it was the most boringest piece of crap ever, and no, it's good, it's deep, it's humanity, it's raw, it's just like, we don't get a lot of movies like this, and it's good, it's very good, and I thought it was underappreciated. Who's with me? Number 8 is a movie that a lot of cinephiles saw, but no average film goers saw, and they should. This is one of those award films that are actually really compelling and everyone should watch. And that's Zone of Interest. I think Zone of Interest is underrated because I think it's a film that most people need to watch. It's a great movie about compliance and about kind of ignorance is bliss sometimes. It's a movie about this German family that buys a place, and it's by Auschwitz, and they hear these horrible and terrifying things, and they choose to ignore it for their own safety. And it's a haunting, terrifying movie, and it's all done through sound, and it's probably some of the best sound mixing I've seen in a movie this year. It's depressing, it's brutal, it's definitely not a movie you have to watch more than once, but you need to watch it once at least. It's definitely a film you should probably show in history classes. So definitely a film that you guys need to check out. Coming number 7 is a fucking weird one. I know some people hated this movie, and I had fun with it. I guess it's just me. That was Renfield. I had fun with this movie. I know people fucking couldn't stand it. They thought it was so stupid and a waste of Nick Cage. Hey, Nick Cage kills it in this movie. He fucking rocks the Dracula role. And I actually like Nicholas Hoult as Renfield. I felt bad for his character. I actually enjoyed Awkwafina in the movie too. And I'm someone who's knocked her a lot because I hated her in almost any Disney movie, like Little Mermaid and Raya and the Last Dragon. But She was good in this movie, and I liked Redfield. I liked his character and his twisted relationship with Dracula. It's all about like a toxic relationship, and it gave me a lot of chuckles. I had fun with it. I know people hated it. Whatever. I enjoyed it. Number 6 is Ferrari. I think this is underrated because it literally just came out and no one is talking about it and no one's giving a rat's ass about it. And this movie is not like Ford v Ferrari good. It's not like that good. It doesn't have like top-notch acting like fucking Matt Damon and Christian Bale gave in that movie. But Adam Driver and Penelope Cruz are great. It tells an interesting story about the founders of Ferrari and the shit they went through, the debt they had, and it's a corporate business movie, but it's done interesting. And I know corporate movies can be really boring and really pretentious and stupid. And this movie has, I don't know, it finds a way to make it interesting and compelling and to be entertaining. It's not like Dumb Money, where the movie is just talking down to its audience and trying to be so flashy and fun. And this movie tries to educate on the history of what happened. And I liked it, and I respected it for it. And I can understand why people didn't love it, but I enjoyed it for what it was. Number 5 is a rom-com called Anyone But You. A movie that critics really did not like, but I enjoyed how just cynical this movie was. And I went to see it a couple days ago because I was visiting my brother in another province, and his wife wanted to go see a movie. We saw Anyone But You, and then we saw The Color Purple right after. And the movie I thought I was gonna like, I didn't like, and the movie I thought I was gonna like, the movie I thought I was gonna like. What am I saying? Let's do this again. The movie I thought I was gonna like, I didn't like, and the movie I thought I wasn't gonna like, I did like. That's what I was trying to say. Anyone But You was funny. What's his name? Glenn Powell? Is that his name? No. Is that his name? The guy from Top Gun and that other movie I really loved from last year. Airplane movie. He played 2 airplane movies last year. You'll know it. You'll know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I liked him in this movie. I thought his chemistry with the lead girl was funny. I thought the movie was funny. I like that it doesn't have so many cliches in it. And I love that it's just this very cynical rom-com. And we don't get a lot of cynical rom-coms nowadays. I think people are overly sensitive. And I enjoyed it for what it was. I don't know. I'm not with the critics. I liked it. Number 4 was Guy Ritchie's Operation Fortune. A movie that, again, people didn't talk about or really give a shit about. I thought it was fun. I really knocked a lot of Jason Statham movies this year because I thought the Meg 2 and Expendables 4 were ass. But this was fun. It was a fun Guy Ritchie movie, fun espionage, spy movie with him and Hugh Grant and Josh Hartnett and oh my god, what's her fucking name? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Girl from Ingrid Goes West. Fucking Parks and Rec. What's her name? I'm not editing this. I'm actually thinking. I know her name. Aubrey Plaza. That's what it is. God damn. This is what happens when you don't write scripts. You just have to just make shit up off the top of your head. That's the way I roll. Is it sloppy? Damn right. But yeah, Operation Fortune. It was like a fun little satire spy movie with also being a spy movie. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Alright, top 3. Number 3 was a movie that you would think would be getting a lot of Oscar love. It's a very important story. It talks about inequality and racial issues. And just, it came out and no one gave a shit about it. And it sucks because it was actually really solid. That's The Burial. Jamie Foxx and Tommy Lee Jones are both crushing these roles. It's a great movie about this guy, and he owns these funeral homes. He's getting bought out by these big corporations. And he wants to sue those corporations for all the money and bankrupt them because this corporation has like bankrupt a lot of people, especially people of color. And it's a lot about a poor man trying to take on a big company, but it's also about racial inequality during this time period. And it's not a movie that's one-sided. It's not a movie that's overly preachy. It's not a movie that's overly pandering. It's a smart movie with good writing, good direction, and some top-notch acting. And it's a good courtroom drama movie, and I really enjoyed it. Definitely check it out. Number 2 was The Last Voyage of the Demeer. This movie shocked the fuck out of me. Like I thought, like, there's no fucking way this movie's gonna be good. It's a Dracula movie, but it's literally one chapter of Bram Stoker's Dracula when Dracula is on the Demeer ship and he kills all the people and stuff. This entire movie is just that. It's just the people on the Demeer ship trapped on board with Dracula. And it's actually pretty good. It's atmospheric. It's spooky. It's creepy. The characters are good. The acting is really good. It works. It's not like a perfect horror movie. There's flaws. There's things I would have changed, but it's actually a decent Dracula movie. I know I have 2 Dracula movies on here, this and Renfield, but it's a decent year for Dracula movies. I enjoyed both of them, and I thought they were both underrated. And this idea on paper sounds really dumb, but it's done so well through great execution and direction and just good casting decisions as well. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good, spooky fun. So yeah. Number 1, this is another one that I don't think anyone watched or heard of, and it's a movie called Somewhere in Queens. Somewhere in Queens is a movie directed by Ray Romano, and it stars Ray Romano and Laurie Metcalf, and it's about a couple raising their teenage son in Queens and stuff. It is a basically slice of life coming of age story that I thought it was hilarious and fucking real and funny and enjoyable. And man, I missed Ray Romano, man. That guy doesn't do a lot of stuff, man. I loved him in Vinyl and The Big Sick, and I'm a fan of Everybody Loves Raymond. That was a funny show back in the 90s, and yeah, it was good to see him again, and he does a great job in this movie. And I was so shocked that no one really reviewed this movie or talked about this movie. Fuck, I didn't even talk about it because I only watched it like a few weeks ago. But man, what a sleeper hit and really hidden gem of a film. Really good characters, funny script, compelling story. I was so invested with this family, and I really loved it. If you love a good slice of life coming of age story, then definitely fucking check this one out. It's funny, it's deep, it's got a lot of emotion, and it's such a good movie, and one of the most underrated, probably the most underrated film of this entire year. So yeah, check out Somewhere in Queens. So yeah, that was my top 10 underrated movies of 2023. Thank you all for watching. I got one last video, and then the year's over, and then 2024, baby. So yeah, like and subscribe. Join the dark side.